All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the LA Soccer Hub Show. My name is Gio Garcia. Today is Thursday, March 18th. And we got a lot of things going on this week. We have Champions League, and also today we had the U.S. men's U23 play today. You also got the Mexico U23. I think they're just finishing up their game. They're winning that game. A lot going on, but it's been a slow week for the black and gold. But here to help me talk all things LAFC, we got my man Garrett Rodriguez, aka We Are LAFC Live. How you doing, my man?
Pretty good, Gio. Thanks for having me on again. Super excited to talk LAFC. I know it's been a slow week, but we've had other football going on to keep us occupied, plus March Madness as well, starting if you're into college basketball. So pretty exciting times right now.
Yeah, we definitely got March Madness. It's a good exciting time. So I went to Grand Canyon University. So they
Yeah.
made it. They made it. This is their first time them making it. So I'm excited. As an alumni, we'll see how far they go. I got them beat them. I got them beating Ohio
Oh,
or Iowa. I think they're playing Iowa. Excuse me.
oh man.
So
Hey,
I
that's
got that's
bold.
my upset. I
Okay.
went a little. That's my upset there because I went to school there. So I mean that's the crazy thing. And I went with Gonzaga like I told you earlier.
Yeah.
But what are some of your upsets for March Madness?
I got UC Santa Barbara upsetting in the first round. I'll be honest, I've only started watch. Well, I've watched college basketball, but I haven't watched it all year long, like a lot of
Same.
other experts. So I watched last week a lot of the championship games. So a lot of the experts were saying pick Santa Barbara as an upset, so I picked them. My final four, I believe I have Florida State against Iowa, and then I also have Illinois against Arkansas. And then my championship game is Illinois against Iowa, with Illinois winning it. So let's hopefully that's what happens, but I doubt it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, that's
Right.
the exciting thing about March Madness. Anything can happen. So if you also created a bracket, you guys listen, let us know who you pick, who you went with.
Yeah.
If you went with the favorite, that's what I did. I mean, my crazy upset was GCU was going to beat Iowa, and then GCU moves on to the next round, and I think they face USC, and then I have USC beating GCU, and then I don't know. I
Yeah.
try to get creative. I try to. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're still doing it this year. If you win $1 million or whatever, if you guess
Yeah.
everything right, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that's I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's happened once, I think. I just don't know remember
No, I don't
when,
think
but
it's
no,
never
it's never
happened.
happened. It's never happened. Wow.
No,
Well,
it's never happened.
it's
Like
probably not
getting
gonna happen
every,
again.
no one has. I don't think anyone in history. I could be wrong, but I feel I'm 99.9% sure that no one has gotten 100% bracket.
I don't think you can. That's impossible, like legit impossible, because there's an upset legit every day of that tournament. I mean, there could be this could be the year where no upsets happen. It's just straight to the point, but that makes the tournament boring. It's always nice to see a 13 beat a higher seed and whatnot, or it's always nice to see an upset or Cinderella story. So I'm hoping we see that, and hopefully it doesn't like bust my bracket though. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Yeah, no, we'll see what happens. I'm excited for the upsets, and I hope I get my upsets right. But we're here to talk soccer, man. Let's talk some soccer. I know people are listening. Is this a soccer podcast? Hey, man, this is a podcast to let you guys know what we're doing. Actually, we should up. No, I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
we're changing it up.
But we got to talk about what's going on. Obviously we're here to talk LAFC, but things have been a little slow for LAFC, right? No,
Yep.
no information just yet. It's been a quiet week. No press call this week. I'm expecting for them to have a press call next week, so that should happen. But we did have the U23s play today. We had the U23 U.S. men's national team play. First there was a double header, so they played, and then I watched the second half. I watched some of the highlights of the first half. They won 1-0. Did you watch the game against Costa Rica?
I watched bits and pieces of it. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't too excited since it was the U23s. I'm waiting for the big boys to play. That's what I'm excited about, to see the star power. But I did see a couple of familiar names in the U23s. I saw Jackson Huel. I think no, is it
Mhm.
Huel or Huel? I know he's been like highly touted to be like the next guy to come up to the big boys league and United States men's national team call ups. So I'm anxious to see what he does going forward. And that's really the only name I noticed. I don't know who stood out today. I did know they won 1-0, correct?
Yep, they won. They won 1-0. So they scored in the first half. And I believe it was the striker. I don't know his name. Look him up real quick. But he got a beautiful goal. It was a little bit of a sloppy game. Um, but he was able to score. It was Jesus Ferreira. in the 35th minute, so he was able to score. He had a couple opportunities to score a couple of different goals, but it just happens that way. It was a bit of a sloppy game for the U.S. men's national team, but hey,
Mhm.
they got the win, and that's the most important thing.
Right.
So you want to see a lot. I'm excited to see this depth because I think you only get two bids. I think only on the CONCACAF is only getting two bids. Like,
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong on
I,
that.
I think you're right. I think you're right on that part.
Okay. Um, and people listen, correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
but I think it's two bids, and obviously the most anticipated one is going to be when they face Mexico. Mexico defeated. I mean, they stomped on Dominican Republic 4-1. You expect that? Yeah, you expect Mexico to win. Obviously, Dominicans are usually known for baseball,
Yeah.
but doesn't mean that they're not known for soccer. But just how strong Mexico's also is. You have players that Uriel Antuna, who used to play for the LA Galaxy. You have players that play in Liga MX, so they have a talented squad there, and
Cordova.
yeah, like so many players, so
Yeah.
many different players, but they ended up winning 4-1. I watched bits and pieces of it, but I was prepping for it. But I mean, it's an
Yeah.
exciting time because I don't think I can't remember of a time of getting ready to look forward to watching U23. And this is the first year that I feel as myself. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but that I'm excited to watch the U23s because I've always been, okay, let's watch let's watch the U.S. men's national team.
Right.
Let's see how they do. But you start to see how the depths of both nations are, and some of the players are playing in the MLS. There was a Dominican
Yeah.
player that was playing in the MLS. There was some former players playing for the Mexican national team that used to play in the MLS, and this is where the future is going to be. So it's an exciting time. So I'm looking forward to when Mexico and US play because those are always fun games.
Yeah. Yeah. No, always, always USA, Mexico. Those are always the big games. No matter what level it is, if it's U23, the big boys, U18, it's always a big matchup. So it should be exciting to see when those two play against each other.
Yeah, and it's going to be a doubleheader for them again on Sunday, March 21st. And then the big one, the Mexico USA, the one we said is going to be on Wednesday, March 24th. That's going
Mm.
to be exciting. So about what, 6 days from now, 8
Yep.
days from now. So I'm gonna look forward to that and see which team's gonna come out on top because both are looking good, but I'd give right now the slight edge to Mexico because the way how they performed today and completely dominated their opponent.
Yeah.
But I know you want to talk a little bit of Champions League. Tell us what's been going on with Champions League.
Well, if you're a Chelsea fan, you were super excited. You're glad you sacked Lampard because you got Tuchel in. Tuchel's at the wheel. You guys be Atletico Madrid moving on to the next round. It's pretty exciting week. The fact that we got some great matchups potentially in the next coming days, and we're going to find out who's playing who. My three favorites right now for the Champions League to win it, depending, how easy their path is. Manchester City is one, totally dominant on all sides of the pitch. Bayern Munich look to repeat potentially, and then I think PSG have a chip on their shoulder, losing last year in the Champions League final. A healthy Neymar and Mbappe. Look for them to carry them to the trophy and hopefully win it. I'm not a PSG fan. I can care less if they win it or not. I don't want to see Chelsea win it because I'm an Arsenal fan. Don't want Chelsea to win it. I don't like Bayern. I don't like many teams that are left in the competition.
I don't
So
like anybody except Arsenal.
I wouldn't mind if Real Madrid. I have a soft spot for them. I like Real Madrid a little bit. I wouldn't mind if they won it, but they're just too up and down for me. And then also Porto is the team that's still left in there. That's kind of surprising after they knocked out Juventus. But Porto's no joke. They no, they don't want to play the game. It'd be interesting if they go up against a juggernaut like Bayern Munich or a Manchester City. How would they perform? Are they going to get piked? Are they going to actually keep it close? And also you got Dortmund. You got Erling Holland in there. I actually want to see again Erling Holland go against Mbappe, PSG versus Dortmund. That would be exciting, or maybe a great matchup, and also Liverpool. But Liverpool is not the same Liverpool the last few years. I think they're lucky to be in this round, and I don't think they're going to go much further, depending who they get.
Yeah, and it's interesting with that happening this year, right? Obviously, Ronaldo was knocked out, Messi was knocked out.
Hmm.
So you're seeing the future stars, right? Obviously,
Yep.
those guys are still at the top. Don't get me wrong, but you're starting to see, what the Champions League is probably going to look like the next couple of years moving forward.
Yeah.
And this is who we got, and these are the players. Obviously, I know PSG is one of the most exciting teams. I think they were they're the second strongest team potentially behind Bayern. with all that talent that they have there. You
Mhm.
know, some of the favorites that could be there, and also, you know, Christian Pulisic, you know, he came off the bench and he was able to get the game winner for Chelsea, which is a
Right.
positive note for him, a positive note for the U.S. men's national team, players, followers, everybody that's supporting him, because there's been some rumblings about Christian Pulisic, if he was going to stay there or not. But you know, you want to see him produce. It looks like he's probably
Uh,
going to get minutes off the bench.
he needs a move, I think, in my opinion. It's surprising because he played under Tuchel, and Tuchel kind of like made a joke, like I feel bad for him because I'm going to pull him off the bench because I know how good he does off the bench. After he said that, he played like 5 minutes when he took him off the bench. So there's no point in making that comment if he's going to be an impact sub in 5 minutes. I mean, he barely has time to warm up. So I think Pulisic's going to have to get a move if he's not getting playing time with Chelsea because if Tuchel develops his favorites, which could end up being Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, maybe Ziyech finds his groove, Mason Mount, who's been on fire for Chelsea this season. I don't think Pulisic's going to get into the side, unfortunately, even Hudson-Odoi. Pulisic could look for a move. He could link up back with Klopp at Liverpool. That would be interesting, especially if Liverpool have some transfer signings. Transfer departures like a Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane taking off to a Galactico like Real Madrid or Barcelona. But that all depends this summer. I'm getting way ahead of myself. But if Pulisic would leave, maybe Liverpool could be a potential, or maybe a lower team such as I don't want to say, but a Tottenham, or even I guess us, Arsenal. We can always use a winger because our wingers always seem to flop sometimes. So yeah, it'd be interesting where he goes in the summer if he does move.
Yeah, let's just say this: the possibilities are endless for him if
Mhm.
it doesn't work out for him in Chelsea, right?
Yes.
Obviously, him being the number 10, but we'll have to see what happens with Pulisic. And you obviously you hope for the best for him. Now
Hmm.
let's move on to obviously talking some LAFC. Again, so we're in the second, third week of March,
Yep.
and
Month
still
away.
no, and still yeah, have pretty much halfway. Third week of March, and still no jersey lunch from LAFC. No.
I don't understand. I don't understand. It's kind of
So yeah, so
weird.
I'm thinking one of two things, right? Of the jersey lunch. One, they probably don't have a sponsor, which I don't think it's true. Or two, they're trying to anticipate or build up the momentum till maybe when the start of the season. But it makes it kind of interesting when all the other teams already kind of launched their jersey. And I think you may be the only one. I could be wrong. I don't keep up with any other teams. But obviously, we know the team across town, the LA Galaxy, they've already launched their jersey. We know, how cool their jersey has come out. So I don't know what's going on with LAFC. I tried to talk to them. They haven't given me a response. Don't really, so I
Yeah.
don't really know what's going on. But hey, it's gonna come out. Whether it comes out with the sponsor, maybe it doesn't. I know we had hinted at different sponsors and stuff, but their jersey for this week, we will expect it. We hope to expect it for next week, and we'll see. I'm gonna try to see if I can get more information for that for you guys for next week. See if the jersey launch will come into, next week, because it's the second and last week. So we'll see what happens. What do you think about no jersey launch this week?
It's a bit surprising. They keep pushing that pink training kit. It seems like every week, trying to get more people to buy it. I haven't bought it. It looks pretty sick though. But I'm waiting for the kit. I'm not worried about it because, like I said, the kit's not my priority. What's on the pitch is my priority. But for a lot of people that have birthdays and stuff coming up, and they want to get their kids or friends the kit, that would have been nice. So it's a little weird. Maybe we don't know who's going to be slapped on the front as a sponsor. Maybe it isn't going to be YouTube TV. But I mean, if they're going to take this long to launch a kit where we're about legit a month before the season starts, it better be a really nice kit. You can't produce a crap kit, right before the first game of the season when we host Austin. So, it's kind of not worrisome, but if you're trying to sell this merchandise, it could get a little worrisome.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's where potential the concern, right? We know what the players can do, or whatever they decide to wear, but I think obviously this is a way the team makes money. This is the way the league makes money. And obviously you're in, if not the biggest market, the second biggest market, which is LA, right?
Right.
So I think that's what, to your point, you hope it, they're planning right. It comes out sick and solid, which I'm assuming it will, but it just makes it interesting that it hasn't came out this week. But nevertheless, it is what it is. That's just to its situation. If you want to buy a $400 boom box, you have that. If you want to buy a pink training kit, you have that. Pink
Yeah.
pink is interesting because pink is cool.
Hmm.
But to your point, I don't know if anybody wants to buy yet. I know some people have, but I don't of the training kit. I don't know if you want to buy the training kit yet when you know you want to buy the jersey. So I don't know why they're pushing that first.
I, yeah, it's weird because they keep pushing the pink and black training kit, which pink and black always goes together. I think it's a really
Yeah,
good
pink is
color
dope. Pink
combo.
is dope, but it's
Yeah,
it's it's not it's not the kit. It's not the jersey.
maybe it might be the jersey for all we know. I know Juventus had that all pink kit. I don't know. Do you know the one I'm talking about? Drake was in a picture with it one
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah. But that looked dope because they had
That
like the
was
Jeep.
cool.
They had
That
the
was
Jeep
cool.
logo.
See
They had
if we
like the
get,
Jeep.
yeah, get an all pink kit or with some black and whatnot, and just slap a beer sponsor on there. You got yourself a good kit or something. But or a seltzer or what's that one seltzer? White Claw. Put a White
White
Claw.
Claw. Man, the
uh,
White Claw, that would be interesting if they went. I mean, White Claw looks like they got a lot of money because I mean they are selling out. But do
yeah.
you like White Claws?
No.
You know, I don't
No, I
mind
don't.
them. I
I
don't mind
don't.
them. They're chill. They're chill. I had them first time last summer, and I was like, okay, these are cool.
Trulies are okay. I like the
Or
Truly
Trulies, yeah,
lemonades.
those are the ones. The Truly lemonades, those are the
Yeah,
ones.
I like
If you're,
those.
yeah, if you're 21 and older, you should definitely try one.
Yes.
You know, if you're not, ask your parents. I don't know. Ask your parents. You know, we're not gonna advocate for underage drinking, but
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
who knows? You know, do what
Right.
you want to do. I'm not here to judge anybody. You know, do it. Drink responsibly. Whatever you
Or maybe,
decide to
or
do.
maybe, I doubt this is a long shot, but it'd be kind of cool. That new Travis Scott seltzer, Cacti, or whatever the hell it's called.
Oh, really? He has his own.
I'm getting old, man, so I don't know these things. I just saw it online and it said Cacti by Travis Scott. It's his new a guave. I don't think I'm saying a guave seltzer. A lot of people are buying it. It's getting sold out. That'd be actually kind of
Anything
interesting.
Travis Scott, people will buy.
Sells out.
Anything.
McDonald's, yeah,
McDonald's, Reese's, anything. I mean, that guy,
I,
that guy's smart. He knows what he's doing, and he's
yeah,
culturally relevant. So, hey, man,
yeah,
props to him.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see. We're gonna keep with the guessing game until it officially happens. So
Hmm.
that would be the twist if that was actually the jersey, and the people are like, no, this ain't the training kick. This is
Well,
actually a jersey, which
it,
I
be-
don't think
it
it is.
it better be better looking than Las Vegas Lights jerseys because those are shit. Have you seen
Those,
those?
yeah,
Oh my
I don't
god.
think they're
Oh
interesting. Let me say that they're
no,
interesting.
no, they're bad. They're bad. They're ugly, and they're $100.
Oh, of course, yeah. That they
So
got to
I
make
went
money
on
somehow.
I went on Zappos.com to see how much they were, and it was $100, I think, and I'm not paying 100. If it was 40, maybe, but not 100. That's way too
I've
much.
seen a couple people wear them around, and I've been to Vegas and I've seen stickers of Las Vegas Lights. But you got to think about it.
Yeah,
Look, it's your only team. It's your only soccer team.
right.
You know, you you're gonna have to buy it. You know, how else are you gonna
No,
represent your? How else are you gonna represent your team? How else are you
wear a
gonna let people?
shirt, wear a shirt or a hat or or
Yeah,
anything. The logo's cool. I like the logo, but as
that
far
was
as the
cool.
jersey, I don't like the confetti in the birthday. It looks like a
You
birthday
know,
cake
you
to
know
me. I
what
don't
I've
like
heard
it.
about Las Vegas Lights. I have a friend down there,
Hmm.
in Las Vegas, but he told me he's been to a couple Las Vegas Lights games, and he said that their games are interesting because they try to make it like an experience. They try to make it like you're at a Vegas experience
Right.
instead of like I guess the
Boring.
owner tries to do that. That's what I've
Yeah.
been told, instead of actually, producing the talent on the field. So that's why their
Well,
talent on the field hasn't been that good, and I think the owner wants to sell it. The team has been wanting to sell the team, and I think he's been linked with the Brazilian club. I think Flamingo. He's been linked to
Palmeiras?
that. Huh?
You said Palmeiras? No, I'm
No,
just
no, no,
kidding.
no. We'll talk about that too. Flamingo. We'll talk about the Brazilian links that have no sense to them. But anyways,
Thank
talking
you.
about Las Vegas Knights, that's why
Mhm,
it makes so much sense. This interesting because they were kind of a mess with their system on the field
mhm,
product,
mhm.
and the owner is not really interested in keeping the team. And you have LAFC that comes in here is going to handle all the operational, right? The
Right,
coaching, the training, and all that other stuff for the
right.
team. And he can focus on if it's going to be the experience, it's going to be the experience. But imagine
Yeah.
if Steve Cherundolo turned things around. So not only you're producing great on the field, but you also have this Las Vegas spectacle
Yeah.
that is, Las Vegas Lights, because he has like I've heard he has different things like entertainment wise in the field. It's not like LAFC type of entertainment that he brings out like I don't want to say like a circus, but he brings out people, and it's not
Yeah.
like a typical soccer type of matchup that you're that you're used to, I should say.
Right. I know they had the cash drop where the helicopter was above the field and they dropped a
Yeah,
bunch of
yeah, like things
cash.
like that. Things like that.
The llamas, which is another thing, and then the Elvis looking mascot. And then even at one point they had Freddie Adu, I think, playing for the team for a game or so. I don't know if you remember that. He tried out for them.
Really, I know who Freddie Adu is, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't really keep up with too many USL
Mhm.
teams, but
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't work out, obviously. But yeah,
yeah.
interesting team. Interesting team.
But yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Obviously, Steve Cherundolo, obviously news already is official. We know that.
Mhm.
He's excited.
Yep.
He talked about what he has to do, and I think like I said, this is a time that finally obviously has full control of their affiliate team, and I think that's
Hmm.
what they wanted to do. And I just want to read a quote here from Steve Cherundolo. He says, "It's a situation. It's a situation I'm comfortable in. I love helping players to move to the next level. There's a lot in place already in Los Angeles, so it's really just helping a lot of these players get to the next step." End quote. So I mean, he looks like he comes ready.
Yeah, you look at his resume. I mean, he's played in Germany, lived in Germany most of his life. He's no joke. He's a serious player, serious gamer. He knows the game. So I'm actually really interested to see how he does. Like we talked about, it's not going to be a spectacle anymore. This team, hopefully, it's going to be actually be producing results and actually care about the results on the field rather than the circus, if you want to call it that. Especially when we send some of our players to Las Vegas Lights, like maybe Bryce Duke might go over there, maybe a Christian Torres might go over there. Are they going to ride the bench? Or are they going to actually grow as a player and develop and then come back to LAFC and actually prove something? So that's what I care about. I can care less about the mascots, the llamas, and all that other stupid stuff. It's all about developing players at the end of the day and grooming Steve Cherundolo for whatever position he goes to next. I mean, if Bob leaves in the next 3 years or whatever, and Steve's the next guy,
He's
I'm
getting ahead of himself
I'm
already.
just saying,
He already wants to call Steve Cherundolo the head coach, and we haven't even started.
because it makes sense. It makes natural sense that Steve Cherundolo was a Bob Bradley player,
Mhm.
right? And it makes sense that give Steve Cherundolo a couple of years with this team. Maybe they'll make a run in USL, whatever they do down there. And then once Bob Bradley gets the can, if he ends up walking on his own or he gets the sack, Steve Cherundolo can come up as a temporary or permanent basis. That's how I'm looking at it. But I'm thinking way down the line. Probably I shouldn't be, but that's just how my brain thinks.
Yeah, he's way down the line, but it is. I guess it is a safe option. I mean, to your point. We have a quick question here. Gabriel Arias says, "Do they do weird? They do some weird stuff. Who do you think plays in Las Vegas? Lights. Obviously, to your point, you named Bryce Duke. You named Christian Torres. Uh, obviously, I think Danny Trejo goes down there. A lot of the guys
Mm-hmm.
that got picked up in the draft is going down there.
Al
Um,
Jennings, maybe.
yeah, potentially Cal Jennings. Yeah, you never know players that get injured. I'm assuming they're probably going to get sent over there first to to potentially train, depending who it is, right? Depending if Carlos Vela gets injured, he's not going down there, no matter what, right?
No, he'll
Diego Rossi gets injured, he's not going down there. It's players that are on the borderline, right? Players that are on borderline that may not be playing, but they need to develop them. And I think it's like you said, Christian Torres and all the 16-year-old kids that are coming up within the LAFC Academy. You have the pipeline if it goes from LAFC Academy, Las Vegas Lights, and then LAFC. Or
yeah.
that's the way you want to do it. And I just wonder how long this process will be, because there's going to come a point that Las Vegas Lights, either one or two things: either they stay with they stay in the USL and they like what Bob Bradley's doing and LAFC is doing, or two, they go to the MLS and then you can't have that partnership anymore. But I think those are years down the road. But I think you got to see, and this is a good way for LAFC to have a short term answer, but I think but they also got to look at the long term. But this is a short term answer, and we'll see what happens. If Las Vegas Lights stays in the USL, perfect for LAFC. But if they either decided not to be a team or sell on to someone else, and then LAFC, or they try to go to the MLS, like I said, then you have a problem. But I like what the solution for it, what it is right now.
Yeah, and it was just a 1 year deal, I think the partnership was. So, like you said, if they continue to grow, it could be like a 3 to 5 years. Or if they apply, I don't know how it works to become a club in MLS. If you have to apply or bid, but I don't know if Las Vegas Lights would become their own MLS team or just a branch of a Las Vegas, like Las Vegas FC would become the MLS squad. because I think a lot of people want Las Vegas as an MLS team, which would be great. Be a great new place to go visit, obviously, for a stadium. I'm assuming they would play at Allegiant Stadium. That would be the normal choice since it's a brand new stadium and the Raiders play there already and
I
UNLV.
think they have their own stadium. I
It's
can't see them.
downtown, right? It's in downtown area, I believe.
No, I don't know where it's at, to be honest. I think they play at a baseball field. I could be wrong.
Okay,
I
they're
could be
not going
wrong.
to be playing. If they play for MLS, I don't.
They're not
Yeah,
playing it. But I can tell you for a fact they're not playing at the Radio Stadium. They're not playing Allegiant Stadium. Then
you don't think
because
they would?
no, not right. Not this year. Not this
Oh
year.
no, 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 not this year. No, I'm saying if they did become an actual MLS team in the next few years.
Oh, if they become, yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah, yeah,
shot. Yeah,
yeah,
if
yeah.
they become an MLS team, yeah, there's a shot. But I mean,
Mhm.
if Vegas has
Right
that
now, no.
right now, no, not right now. But I mean, if they're able to sell out whatever 80,000, 90,000, I don't know how many seats you can hold down there. But yeah, I mean that's gonna be exciting. But nevertheless, we're gonna try to get some games down there. You know,
Yep.
potentially see some players go to Vegas, like you said. You know, go Vegas on Friday, watch the game on Saturday, come back.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, that
come
sounds
back on
good.
Sunday, hungover. You
I don't
know,
know how many of us will make it back, but
hopefully we come back with some with some money. You know, with some extra money. Um,
exactly. Yeah.
which is always fun. You know, Vegas. I know
Mhm.
you got to be safe out there.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Let's talk about Brian Rodriguez. I know you tweeted this. He got his first start and he played 61 minutes.
Yes.
The scale is moving up for Brian Rodriguez. This is
Yeah.
what you want.
Another $300 to the value. So there you go.
The value's going back up.
Yep.
It's going back up, and this is what you want. Obviously, I didn't watch the game. I'm not sure if you watched the game, but
No.
regardless, this is what you want to see. He went from coming off the bench now to getting a start, playing 61 minutes,
Yep.
and things are trending the right way for Brian Rodriguez and LAFC.
61 minutes starting. I don't know how he did. I looked on Football, my football app, and he got a 6.1 out of 10. A lot of those players actually got in the sixes. Not really, didn't look too good. They drew 0-0. They're still, I believe, in second or third place in La Liga 2 right now. So that's good for them as far as going up to La Liga. Hopefully, this is the start of Brian Rodriguez doing well at his Almeria career, potentially. Hopefully, this is what we want. So if he can keep starting 60 to 70 minutes and potentially the full 90 going forward, chip in a couple goals and assists, by the time May comes around, we might have ourselves a deal in our hands. I don't know how big the deal would be, but hopefully this is what we want. This is what we like to see.
Yeah, and this is what you want to see. This is what you want to see a player
Yes.
progress. He's where he wanted to be, right? He wanted to be in
Hmm.
Europe. This is a shot. Take advantage of the opportunity. Score goals, score assists. Become so attached to this team that you help them win. If it's an assist, a pass, or whatever it is, they LAFC wants you to succeed. You want yourself to succeed. I know that all the fans want you to
Right.
succeed because that's going to lead for LAFC to have an open DP spot. That's going to lead for opportunities for Brian Rodriguez down the road in Europe. So I mean, this is moving the right way. It's
Yeah.
moving the right way. We just have about another 2 months of keeping track on him, and I know you're going to do a great job
Yeah.
of keeping track of Brian Rodriguez, where he
Mhm.
goes and what he's able to do and accomplish there. Because I mean, you only want to see him go up, and keep
Yeah.
that up, and you also want Almeria to stay in second, if not first place, right?
I want them to move up so that way they have incentive. Like they can say that, hey, Brian Rodriguez helped us move up. He pitched in some ways. We should buy him to keep us in for the next year in La Liga to challenge for it to stay up and survive and not get relegated again. So that's what I want. And I don't want Rodriguez back, obviously. I don't care what Bob says about if he comes back potentially. I don't believe that. I just want Rodriguez to do well at Almeria. Almeria to pay the price of whatever that is going to be, whatever they have agreed upon. If we take a loss, we take a loss, but just do well, Rodriguez. That's all I ask. Just keep playing, keep chipping in however you can, and then all the best to you.
Yeah. And I think obviously, like we talked about this already, obviously part of those reasons that Bob said that is obviously you want to keep the player stock up, and you never know what happens. You never know what's going to happen, right? You never know. You can't close that door for Brian Rodriguez because you never know what could happen. He could potentially come back, and Bob has to have that door open for him, and also if this is a play that LAFC wants to sell, you have to talk well of him. You want to talk great of him, and you don't want to talk bad about him when he's not with your team. It only helps you as a coach, as a team, or whatever to keep talking about him in the best possible way.
Right.
That way his stock doesn't take a hit. And I mean, it's smart for Bob to do that. I think that's pretty noticeable. But obviously, like you said, I think majority of the fans, are ready to move on and,
Right.
use that third DP spot, hopefully come May time, for someone else and, wherever that happens.
And
Um,
and look at we got some success stories so far. I mean, you got Brian Reynolds, I believe, from Dallas at Roma right now on loan. He just got a substitution appearance the other day in Europa League, I believe, or one of the Italian league games. So I mean, that's an MLS club kind of doing it the right way, trying to get his value up. If they can sell him on, because FC Dallas likes to do that. They're academy players. And also Daryl Dyke from Orlando City at Barnsley right now. That guy is tearing it up. Apparently, a top six Premier League team offered, I think, was it 10 or 15 or 20 million or something? Not 20 million, maybe it's 10 or 15 million for him. So that's a success story. And Orlando said no. That's kind of what I want to see Rodriguez at Almeria. Maybe another club will see Rodriguez playing Almeria and say, hey, we'll pay LAFC the 5 to 10 or whatever money they want to get him off our hands. That's what I want to see. So
Yeah, and that's the plan. That is also an option, and that's what I was thinking that for Rodriguez, right? For
mhm.
that he's getting attention, right? He's out there, he's being exposed. He's a Uruguayan national player. He's going to get attention out there and what he's able to do, and he may attract other La Liga teams, that are already in La Liga One, and may send LAFC an offer, may maybe another team, for Premier League or whatever. You never know. And as long as he's out there and he's playing, he's going to get some attention, right? And then when he goes back to the World Cup qualifiers for the national team with Uruguay, obviously we know he's played with them. He either
Yep.
comes off the bench or he can start for them. So it's there is a tension around him. He just has to do what he has to do, and and then LAFC, everybody can walk away very happy.
Yep. I agree 100%.
So I kind of want to talk a little bit about the rumor. There was a rumor about Eduard Atuesta, and I guess we have to talk about it. Because even when I see this or see other things, the reason why I don't see anything happening, because the team is set. Let me just say this: the team is already set for LAFC. So
The starting 11?
the roster is set, not the
Oh,
starting
okay.
11, but I'm saying
I was
the
gonna
team.
say, you better tell me.
The team for LAFC is set. So I don't
Okay.
see any changes coming from anywhere. I don't see LAFC selling anyone or anything like that.
It'd be stupid to do it right now, right before the season starts a month away.
Yeah, and that's why it's just a rumor, right? And
Mhm.
obviously, I don't know who wrote this or whatever, but it got some traction. So I got traction that rumor of Eduard Atuesta going to Palmeiras, which is a Brazilian club. Obviously, LAFC has been linked to so many Brazilian clubs,
I
so
don't
many.
get it. I don't get
Let's see,
it.
Blessing. Who else? Was it just those two? But it seems like a lot. It seems like there's always Brian Rodriguez was also linked, I think, to Flamingo
No,
or
and then Blessing Rodriguez, now
yeah,
Atuesta,
Eduard
and
Atuesta.
I think that's it. I think
Yeah, I
that's
think
it.
that's it. So it was three players. They're always getting linked. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know if it's a Brazilian news person, news outlet. It could be a troll. I don't know. But I don't see. Let me just get this out there. I don't see any of LAFC players going to any of the Brazilian clubs. Not because I don't think the Brazilian clubs are not good, not because I don't think that any of the Brazilian clubs don't have attention. I think the next step moving forward for any LFC player is Europe. If you're going to go anywhere, I think it's Europe, and that's where it makes sense. There's not, but there could be a player that could be like, you know what, I want to go back to South America to be with my family. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. But I don't see that the case for Eduardo Tuesta. I don't see that the case for potential Latif Blessing. I don't see that the case right now. And on top of that, LAFC has their hands in this, and they're not gonna, a player like Eduard Atuesta, they're gonna care where he goes. They're gonna care where he ends up. He's not, and he also talked on the press conference call last week that
His head's in the game.
his head's in the game. He's focused on LAFC. What other opportunities come that will come. I'm just paraphrasing what he talked about,
Right.
and he was asked about. He was asked about European clubs. So anytime anything comes from Brazil, anything like that, he's just take a look. You can look at it, but don't pay too much attention if it doesn't necessarily make sense.
And I also didn't. I didn't mean any disrespect when I tweeted about Palmeiras that they wouldn't he wouldn't go there, and that they're seventh place. I do know they won the Copa Libertadores, so congratulations to them. But when I'm talking big club, I'm talking like an Ajax or a like an AC Milan or something like that. That's what I meant. I didn't mean like, Palmeiras is a big club in Brazil. Yeah, go figure.
Did you get trashed or what on Twitter? What happened?
A couple, I think, Brazilian people that are Palmeiras fans tweeted at me in Portuguese, so I had to translate it. So,
Hey, so same thing happened to me when I tweeted. I had tweeted
uh,
that Brian Rodriguez was not going to go to, was it Flamengo? I forgot where he was. Palmeiras. It might have been Palmeiras. I don't know, but he was linked to a Brazilian club, and I said it would be a step down. And people were like, went at me on Twitter and were
yeah,
like, "In what world is Palmeiras a step down from LAFC or whatever the club was?"
yeah,
It's a step back in the process of the process.
right.
And then you look, and then obviously Brian Rodriguez ended up with UD Almeria, but you know it's fine if you have to have pride in your team if you're Brazil. I get that, but there's no LAFC player at this moment unless it's a family issue or something like that. The next step for any LAFC player that has attention, Eduard Atuesta, Diego Rossi, Brian Rodriguez, that caliber player, Latif Blessing, you could throw that in there as well, right? Those caliber is Europe. Anything outside of that, I just don't buy it right now. I just don't.
Yeah, no. Anytime I see a rumor like that, I get worried, but at the same time, I have to have a bit of logic when talking about it. And I think I said where I see Atuesta going is could be a Spain. It could be a Mexican team, maybe a Mexican club. Uh, and then I think I said one other country. I think I might have said Italian.
Yeah, you
But
said
those are
AC Milan, didn't you?
yeah, AC Milan. But obviously AC Milan's a really big club. At Tuesta, I don't know how you would fit in there. I'm just throwing out names like that. But Ajax or PSV Eindhoven,
Mm-hmm.
those would be two clubs I could see, at Tuesta going to, developing, and then being sold for an even bigger fee. But just like I believe Edison Alvarez, if I have his name right, I could be wrong.
Yeah,
He's
it's
at
an
Ajax right now,
Alvarez. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Mexican international right now. He's going to be sold probably in the next couple of years for a bigger fee. That's what I want to see at West. Like he would be perfect at
Yeah.
a Dutch club, I think. And I'm Dutch. I'm not being biased, but I'm just saying he fits the mold with the game over there, just the way
It
he
makes sense,
plays.
right? It makes sense for
Yeah.
him to go out there. And quickly in the chat, Jesus Medina says 3 million is way too low. I guess that's what the offer. I didn't even pay attention. I didn't
Yeah,
even open the article.
3 million. That is no for him. No, 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 no,
Look, it's a
no,
rumor. I
no.
didn't even pay attention. I didn't even bother touching it. But Jesus Medina says he said, but I disagree. I think he disagrees with us. I think if they're going to do it right now is the best time to work and fix a team without him. He's talking about Atuesta. I'm sorry, Jesus. I disagree with you.
Yeah,
Eduardo
I like
Atuesta.
Jesus. Jesus is one of my followers on Twitter. Shout out to Jesus, always interacting. Love that guy. Um, I agree with you, Gio. It'd be dumb to do it right now, especially for 3 million. His value is at least minimal 8 to 10 minimal. I would think.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say Jesus. The reason why I disagree with you is one, Eduardo Testa. He last week he said he's focused on the LAFC, so that's right from the player, right? And Eduardo Testa is not a player that would seem he would go away from his response that quickly. Two, LAFC can get way more money potentially than $3 million. Three, Brazilian Palmeiras is not the club for him. It's just not for him. And four, it's Europe. It has to be Europe. And five, Eduardo Atuesta is the core of this team. You're not going to cut Eduardo Atuesta with a month left to start the season, right? To send him out there, and it would just, who's going to fill his role and everything like that. It's just too much of a domino effect for LAFC for that to happen. It's too far fetched for me to even think that would happen. Because it's just way out there. Eduardo Torres is going to start in the midfield with alongside Latif Blessing potentially, Jose Cifuentes, Mark Enrique, you name it, right? There's a lot of players out there that could play in the midfield, but right now Eduardo Torres is not going anywhere. The
Well,
summertime, pay attention, guys. When it comes to the summertime transfer window, that's if we're getting there and Eduardo Torres is killing it, Diego Rossi's killing it, which I'm assuming they will.
he'll be gone.
That's when we got to pay attention, but not in March, not in April, May, June. I think the transfer window is in June, July. Once we get towards the end of May, that's when you're going to start hearing the rumblings. That's when you're going to start hearing more of those rumors. That's when it's going to start making sense. But anything right now doesn't make sense because, like I said earlier, the 2021 roster, uh, the training camp roster is pretty much set of who's going to stay with LAFC. These other players are going to stay with LAFC, and some of these players are going to go to Las Vegas Knights. Obviously, if an injury happens, that's different, right? If a player gets injured, something like that happens, obviously you're going to have to get players and all that. But right now, no moves. I don't see any moves going on for LAFC, especially Eduard Atuesta.
Yeah, imagine a midfield because if Atuesta magically leaves for some weird reason before the season, which it won't happen. Imagine a midfield trio of Mark Anthony K, Ganella, and Blessing. We're screwed.
Yeah.
I'll just throw in the towel. That midfield sucks. You got two weak links and then one workhorse doing all the work for the other two. I won't mention any names, but you already know what I'm talking about. So I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, he's. I mean, you're very strong on your team, but I think without them, they're not going to be as strong. Without Eduardo Twister, right? And who's going to fill his role? But you also got a bread who is going to take his role. That's also what Bob Bradley and the coaching staff has to develop in Las Vegas Lights. Who is going to take Eduardo Twista's spot next season, or they're going to bring someone else in, right? But you're expecting Diego Rossi and Eduardo Twista to leave this next season. By next season, they're not going to be here. Let's put it that way. We don't know if they leave this season or whatever, but let's just put it this way. By 2022, the season may not. When the season starts, you may not be with Eduardo Twista, Diego Rossi, and potentially a couple other players because they may be sold on and move forward. And who are those players that LAFC, Bob Bradley, Steve Sharondo specifically is going to develop for Las Vegas Lights? Is it Bryce Duke? Who is it? And I think that's what we're going to see. And we don't know the answers, right? We can ask the questions yet, but we don't know the answers just yet. And I think that's what we're going to have to see how these players develop. And already good system, great system, but we don't have the development just yet. And I think that's the missing piece for LAFC right now on the development part is Steve Cherundolo.
Yep. He's going to play an important part in the development of these young players, like we talked about earlier, Christian Torres, Bryce Duke, Aboku, Cal Jennings, maybe, Trejo. We got so many players. We got about 10 players that can actually go to Las Vegas Lights and form their own team right now if they wanted to. And that would be LAFC too, technically, in a way, as a developmental team. But as the season goes on, we'll find out who's over there actually being developed and whatnot, and who's going to be ready and whatnot. It's going to be exciting. I'm actually looking forward to seeing these younger players develop at Las Vegas.
Yeah, Jesus says if they wait till the summer, he can choose to leave for free because I don't think he's resigning because he has potential to play anywhere. I think his contract may run till the end of the year. I don't think his contract runs till the summer. So I'll double check on that. Usually they don't tell us information, but one thing that I did find out is MLS, Major League Soccer had a situation. I don't know if it was Lukaku or some MLS player that he signed a contract with someone else. The reason why I bring this story, he ended up signing with the contract with someone else because I think it might have been New York City. I don't know. People listen, correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't have the proof in the media outlets or what. I don't know what the situation necessarily, but now MLS is telling the teams that they're going to have to publish, the terms of the deal. So that's why we don't know the information for some of these MLS players signings because so moving forward, I think I've seen it with the LA Galaxy. They've been publishing, how long the terms of the contract, and that's important. Why? Because we've been as journalists, we've been asking that information because we want to know. Okay, Eduardo Atuesta ends in 2021 in December, not in the summer, right? That this gives us more information instead of guessing. And it's not guessing because I don't know my stuff. It's guessing because the team doesn't want to give you, the team in the league don't want to give you that information. But I think now moving forward, because that's a situation with the MLS player, let's just say the MLS had a situation that a player signed with another team from a different country. And now they're going to start to publish that, and send it to the media people. Which we've been saying all along. Then we know when the terms of the contract end. We know when Diego Rossi's contract ends. We know when Carlos Vela. And then you can start putting the pieces of the puzzle. So as of now, we kind of have to assume, but I'll check to see if Eduardo Atuesta ends in December and not the summertime.
Yeah, it also helps if we start putting release clauses on these contracts. If you pay the amount of money on that release clause, he's yours. No questions asked. That's it. So if we slapped a $15 million on Atuesta, you paid a $15 million. you're free to negotiate with him, and that's it. We stay out of it, and you just give us the 15 mil, and you can decide his length of term, wages per week, incentives, all the other stuff. That's what they do in the European clubs. You know, you pay the. I know Spain, La Liga. I think it's I don't know if it's mandatory, but a lot of the players have release clauses. Like when Arsenal paid for Thomas Partey, it was 45 million release clause. As soon as they paid the 45 million, there was nothing Atletico Madrid could have done about it. That was it. You know, we just had to negotiate the terms. I feel like LAFC. I don't know if we're allowed to, but we should start doing something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are with MLS.
Mhm.
So I don't. I don't know. That's what gets tricky. I don't know if they have that ability to do the release clause, and because when a player gets sold on like that, MLS gets a piece of that. Unless
It's so.
unless unless it's a homegrown contract, unless LAFC or any MLS club for that
Mhm.
matter would get all that money. But a player like Eduard Atuesta, a player like Diego Rossi, a player like Brian Rodriguez, they're the DPs international. MLS is getting a cut. So I don't know if that's an option for MLS teams as of yet.
Well, I'm just gonna say my opinion on it. Maybe I'm not. I'm speaking for a lot of people. Maybe I'm speaking for myself. I think all these little contract rules are stupid. The DP, TAM, homegrown, all just scrap the whole thing because no one cares to learn about any of it. And let's just open up the market. You pay for what you can get, and you survive. Survival of the fittest. That's it. If you're a little club, you buy little players. If you're a big club, you can buy the big boys. You know, I when people try to explain that stuff, DP, there's three, no, there's two, no, we need to get one, there's open spot, international player. I could the trading of international players slots and all that good stuff. If you asked me to read about it for a day, I would stop after 10 minutes because I could care less. I said we just open up the market, and I know MLS is greedy and wants to get a piece of everything and whatnot. I don't agree with that. If LAFC can afford to get an Antoine Griezmann and they have unlimited money like a Manchester City in England, then do it. And if a team like Nashville or a lower team has to buy players that are actual homegrown and grow them academy wise, then they're stuck doing that. That's not our problem. That's what I wish MLS was like, but I can never see it being like that because MLS is set in their ways, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the reason I had Paul Chenario a couple weeks, maybe a couple months ago, and we kind of talked about that having like an open market, but I guess the reason why he's not for it as well. It's been like a slow build. It's been a very conservative build, and the reason I guess Don Garber and the MLS did that right is to have DPs and all these other things that don't necessarily make sense to the average fan. Imagine trying to be a coach from Europe and understanding this. That's why I feel
Yeah,
like so many international coaches
they
have a
don't come.
disadvantage when they come to the MLS and they
Mhm.
struggle because they don't know how to build a team MLS wise, not soccer wise, MLS wise with DP and all this other stuff and what's TAM, GAM, and all this. It took me a couple years to learn all that stuff. Now I feel more comfortable going into this year. I feel more comfortable than I did last year. First year covering the LAFC, I did not feel comfortable because I was like, "What the heck is this?" Right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, information's not out there. But I'm with you, and I'm with you on that. MLS has grown conservatively, very slow, but in a
Mhm.
great way. But you got to let the training wheels off the team. You got to take the training wheels off and let them do what they do. This is the US. I don't think any team necessarily is going to go under unless they have way more information to back that up. But you've seen how these teams get built, and you can fast forward the speed of the growth of the MLS.
Mhm.
You know, you could potentially, if you take the training wheels off for the MLS teams, they can sign this player, they can sign that player. Say you have a salary cap if they want to do it like US sports, right? If they want to do something like that, you can have a salary cap and this player can sign that player and all these other things, you know. But doing 3DPs, TAM, imagine if you don't have to worry about getting three international or 3DPs of paying them more than $1 million or whatever. Imagine if you had the liberty of buying or paying for whoever you want.
Yeah.
um it makes difference. It makes all the difference. You see what
Much more
FC
quality.
yeah, he makes all the difference. You don't think FC Cincinnati could do that? They just paid what 14-15 million for that Brazilian player.
Yeah.
I don't think
That's
they're
what
in
I'm.
a disadvantage. I don't
That's
think
what I'm saying.
necessarily. I don't think they're in a disadvantage, right? And you're having your club owners pay what a $250 million fee or $300 million fee to be an owner. So I don't think that the training wheels should be on for MLS teams the way it's going. I think the training wheels need to be taken off and let the teams. They're smart enough. These are business owners. Some of these business owners have other sports teams.
And that's the problem sometimes is that they're business owners. They're not football owners. They don't like football. They're only in it for the business. Do you think all the owners at LAFC actually watch an LAFC game when it's on?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't
they
think
don't.
so.
They probably couldn't even name you 5 players, to be honest. And that's a problem. Some of these owners couldn't give a shit about the football that's on the pitch, and that's why the game's not growing as fast as we thought it would. And that's why we need to eliminate all this TAM and all this DP
I think if
stuff.
the owners put pressure on Don Garber, they
And I don't
would.
like Don
They
Garber
would.
either. He's a little
They would,
weasel.
but to your point, they don't. Some of the owners, right? We got obviously got Magic Johnson, just to name a few. You have Peter Gruber, who owns the Dodgers, owns the Warriors. Probably one of the richest guys that owns in sports, right? If he says, if he look, I'm not going to speak for him, but I have a
That's
funny
fine.
feeling that he may not understand DP, TAM,
Oh,
GAM, whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. He's an owner. He has the money. He has the deep pockets. But if you tell me this player, he's like, you know what? I think we should get rid of all this stuff. We should open it up. It makes more sense. This is how you're going to grow the league. This is how you grow it in the NBA. This is how you grow it in baseball. You don't have these limits,
right,
but you don't. He's not doing that. Or any other owner, I don't know, has done that and put
right.
the pressure on Don Garber. And that's when you put the pressure. And quickly, Jesus on the chat. I like your questions, man. He says, how does the money work when they sell player of the league? Where does it go to TAM, GAM? I don't know, man. I literally don't know, but I know MLS gets a percentage for, let's say Brian Rodriguez gets sold for 10, 15 millions. MLS gets a cut. I don't know if it's 30% or whatever. They get a cut. So I don't know. TAM is just how you pay a player. TAM is a player that's making more than $600,000. So I don't know how that works. And this is what's confusing. And this is what's confusing for people listening, people watching. That is confusing how this breakdown necessarily works. And unfortunately, I'm not educated enough to break it down for you guys. But I'll get educated and let you guys know. But this is why it makes it so difficult when you're just joining the league, because an outsider watching or coming into the league, like I said, a coach try to build a team,
Yeah,
and if you don't have that guidance from your GM, a lot of coaches are not going to succeed or haven't succeeded.
right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these owners just, I don't think they care as much as you think they would.
I don't think that they
Football.
don't care. I think they just
Well,
got a lot of things going on. You know what I'm saying? With that much
right.
money, if they're gonna own, say like Peter Gruber is gonna own LAFC, right?
His
That
his
guy
focus
has
is the
money, right?
Warriors. Is the Warriors.
The Warriors and the Dodgers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So his third thing would probably be LAFC.
Nah,
You don't think
probably
so?
other things, man. You know what I'm saying?
No,
But
I meant like
he's
going down
just,
the list of sports
yeah,
teams. Yeah.
he's the guy with the money, right? And a couple other
Right.
people too. There's a couple other investors. They're the guy with the money. Bob Bradley, John Thornton's. Those are the guys, and potentially, I think Larry,
Larry
potentially
Bird.
is,
Mhm.
yeah, Larry is in there involved as well. But those are your three guys. Those, they know that's who's getting paid. That's what they're getting paid for. That's what John
Mhm.
Thornton got hired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's up to them. It's not up to Peter Gruber to the
Right.
owner's defense. I hired so and so. Hey, you know the league. You know what's going on. What build a winning team. You know how to play within the rules. Well, let's make it happen.
Right. Yeah. No. That's it's pretty self-explanatory, I guess. As far as the owners and opening up, putting some pressure on Don Garber, who I do not like, by the way. Um,
I think if
Comes
you had
off.
an owner like Mark Cuban
Oh,
involved in MLS,
yes,
things would
yes.
change. Things would
Awesome.
change.
Yes.
Things would change
Yeah.
because he's done it with the NBA. How successful the NBA is, right, and how
Mhm.
advanced the NBA is. If you had an owner like Mark Cuban come into MLS and he's like, "Hey, this is stupid," or whatever, he will go. He will go at Don Garber and tell him to his face that the way you're building these things up. But unfortunately, right now you don't have someone that's invested like that and willing to go to toe to toe with the commissioner and say,
Right.
open it up. Everybody else is
Right.
doing it.
Yeah, he's controversial, but it's sometimes in a good way to fix things in the NBA, or he'll complain about it, and for a fact he's going to be at every game courtside, or if he owned a football team, he'd be on the sideline. He'd be super pumped. I know we get some of our owners, doing some stuff at the games, and they'll make an appearance here and there. We'll have Will Ferrell, who's there, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like I'm complaining now, and I don't want to complain. So One last one last thing that I will say though is that another thing that should happen, which will never happen, is promotion relegation. That could be a whole nother episode on
That's a
itself.
whole nother episode.
Yeah,
First, we got to
I'm
get rid
not.
of DPs and TAMs before we can.
I'm just saying that that should be something that should have been done a long time ago. But since we play in America, that will never happen, because again, it comes down to the owners. If their team gets relegated, they're going to bitch about it and they're going to lose money, and it's going to be a whole scene. So that's probably one of the reasons. But teams like San Jose and Colorado, I'm looking here in 2018. San Jose won 4 games, so a team like that should not be playing in MLS the next season. They should have been relegated. But
They
since we
made it
don't
to the
reward
playoffs.
teams,
I think they won more than four
no, no, no,
games.
no. I'm talking in 2018. I'm looking
Oh,
at 2018.
2018. Okay, okay.
They won 4 games, drew 9, lost 21. So a team like that should not be allowed to be playing in the first division. They should be relegated. But since we play in the United States, they get rewarded with mediocrity and they continue to play in MLS. But I feel like I'm going on a rant now, but I'm just saying how I
Well,
feel. And a lot
yeah,
of people feel the same way, maybe.
I hear you, and I know there's people that do feel the same way, but the league is growing still, right? So
Too much.
some team can't even sell out their own stadium, so that's the
Hmm.
problem. How
Yeah.
you gonna how the owner's gonna get the money, and different things like that. But I think first we got to worry about getting rid of TAM, getting rid of all these DP stuff,
Baby steps.
all these baby steps. But these owners and these general managers, these people that have been around the league for so long, they know how to manage how to manage teams, and they know the ins and outs. And like I said, you just got to take the training wheels off. But hey, man, but it just goes what happens, But
Yeah.
you wish it wasn't like that. But these are the times we live in. This is what happens. And you got to see how you got to do essentially if you're LAFC or any MLS team compared to any team around the world, you got to do a lot less. You got to do more. Excuse me, with a lot less.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to do more with a lot less, and you got to see how you develop players and stuff like that. And that's why I'm very excited and very interested to see how LAFC, Steve Cherundolo, John Torrington, Bob Bradley coach these guys at Las Vegas Lights and get that system and who breaks out of that for the potentially this season.
Right. Agreed with that. 100%.
So that's what happens. But yeah, I think that's all the time we have, man. It's been a slow week. LAFC didn't
Yeah.
release too much. I mean, nothing too much about the players, nothing too much about, I'm assuming they're gonna have a press call next week, so we'll be able to talk about that and recap that and hear the thoughts and stuff. I think they're having a press call every other week. And as we know, LAFC had an intramural scrimmage, and I think they're gonna have 2 games against New England Revolution, and that's about it for them. And then the season's going to start for them a month away from exactly today, March 18th. February is going to be on April 18th. So, yeah, is there anything else you like to add before we let you go? Chat, is there any questions you guys like to add? I know a lot of the great questions. Suze, Gabriel, everybody asked questions. Thank you guys for your questions.
Yeah, just sorry to go on a rant the last couple minutes, but I just get frustrated when talking about promotion relegation and all this TAM and DP and all that crap. Because I don't understand it. I don't care to understand it. I wish it was more of an open league where the free flow of quality players could be bought with no questions asked. But hopefully, like you said, the training wheels come off at a certain point. When that will be, maybe it'll be in 5 years, maybe it'll be in 10 years, or maybe it'll be in 20 years. We don't know, but you know, end of the day, LAFC is here to stay. That's what I'm happy about, and hopefully nobody gets injured. Knock on wood on the intra squad game or the games against New England Revolution, and Bob gets his starting 11 correct for April 18th. I believe is the first game against Austin, and we'll have a sense of who's going to be starting in goal, who's going to be starting in center mid as a trio, and who will be starting at forward. So let's see.
Yeah. Well, that wraps it up, guys. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to and you guys watch the live stream Thursday nights. Thursday nights at 7 p.m. is dedicated for LAFC. So if you guys are listening, check us out on YouTube at 7 p.m. on LA Soccer Hub. You guys check us out. We have the live stream. We have the chat open, so you guys can talk to us. Chat with us, tell us things. And also, you can listen to this podcast wherever you get your music on, especially Spotify. If you also enjoyed this, give us a 5-star, give us a 5-star rating.